Well, an organisation is not a person. You can appeal to persons in an organisation, but of course there's passing the buck, and it's not my department. I can't change the rules. Committee does that. I can't respond. Not only that, but committees don't make consistent decisions by majority rule. If it's, we vote on this and we decide to do that, and then we vote on another thing and we decide to do that, but the two are actually inconsistent with each other. Different people, if you like, a different consortium voted within the set committee, and it's made a majority that voted for this. The other majority from that same committee, different sort of mix of people but overlapping, made a different decision on the other issue, and the two are contradictory. So you get inconsistencies, which, if you're confronted with an individual that's responsible, then in some sense you say, well, you can't do both. You do one, you can't do the other. Oh no, that's right. So he harmonises his decision-making. Committees and institutions and governments are not like that. You've got one ruler, say Russia, who's going to be in for life, and he makes a decision with you. And yes, you keep your word, but the next government that replaces you doesn't. Does a U-turn? Well, you, from his point of view, you can't make useful arrangements with people. It's only going to be for as long as it's going to be. Commitments. You came into Europe, but now you want to go out again, and so you do, and so everything's in change again. Now, if you're worshipping God, the notion is it's one person and a single personal entity. You could say, but hang on, it's imaginary. It's something you trust exists, and you trust have the following values. In some sense, theoretically, it's a consistency. If you don't trust in God, but you feel you have to trust in something, or you're wanting to have a meaning to life, and you for instance, want society to be better, you may hope that society tomorrow will be better than society today, and work towards it with certain ideas in mind. But if you look at history, thousands of years have passed, but has the world got better? You could say, well, of course it has. Technologically, and our ability to supply food to people, and so on and so forth. It's good. If, on the other hand, you look at the record of destruction, war, stress, the numbers of people that get killed on a massive scale now, even, was it epidemics? You still get pandemics, as we call them, destroy vast numbers of people just as much as in the Middle Ages. I don't know if it's out of place here, but let me add a note anyway, because it just occurs to me. Look, even if the window's open just an inch, there's a great change of air. You can tell, because it takes a lot longer to heat the room up. If you live in a cold climate and you're thinking, well, I want to keep warm. I don't want to, on the other hand, I don't want to suffocate myself by having the windows shut. Even a little gap is changing the air at quite a rate, because the air inside is warm and wants to escape relative to the cold, heavy air outside. And it circulates. So, even a crack in the car window gives air. Perhaps, of course, with the car, you just put it on, the air vent coming in from outside at a low or a high level, according to what you want. But, with your room too, your house, don't try and heat the whole house if you're poor. If you're on low income, have a small room that you live in with your, hibernate up for the winter. Especially if you're not working, you're elderly and so on. You can do that. And you spend all day keeping nice and warm and cozy. Chatting to God, or in my case, chatting to you. And you too, make sure you're doing it. Record, go on, practice yourself. You'll get good at it in no time at all. And it'll be your message, your blessing, your ministry, your sent. Certainly as much as I am, for goodness sake. Of course, he loves us all equally. And he'll do a greater work in you than through you, although your heart is in doing it for others. He blesses you. The Spirit flows through you. It's fantastic. Where was I? Oh, yes. And so it is too with the spiritual things. Let me speak spiritually, not just draft coming in through windows. Although it's important. You try living without oxygen. It's not good for the body. You die within a few minutes. Staggering, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't take a genius to know we need sunlight, does it? That plants die in the dark. That people don't live long if they're not breathing. Even if they were breathing fine before, you stop them breathing, they've had it. Oh, sorry, I'm not giving it. Let me stay on track. Spiritually, you don't have to do wondrous things. Open yourself a little to God, and you'll find there's a transformation comes into your being. And suddenly you're flying, and you don't know why. I'll tell you why. It's because he loves you, and suddenly you realize it. You realize you love him. Wow. Wow. You're on the path to life eternal. You have it, in fact. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.